Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. Today, let's continue to look at some more cutting compounds. Today, we're going to take a look at Oberk Supreme Cut compound. You can get this 8 ounce, 32 ounce, and 1 gallon containers. And this is a cutting compound that they claim can remove up to P1500 sand marks. Now, you can feel, this is a very creamy formula. You can feel the grit between the fingers. I'll rub a little bit on the panel here. Now, the GoPro has a problem focusing. The two problems with GoPro, focusing and sound. But I think you'll be able to catch the grit in the frame here. So sometimes if you can see the grittiness, feel the grittiness, it turns out to be a dusty formula. We're going to find out. We're going to test on this panel. I have 1500, 1000 grit, 800 grit, and 600 grit sand sheets. We're going to mark up 4 sections, run a path through it with a polisher and this cutting compound and see how well it does. So the first 2 areas, it should blaze through it easily, and the next 3 is going to be the question mark. The 1000, 800, and 600 grit areas, we're going to see just how far this compound can get. We're going to use the same polisher and Eurofiber 50/50 pad as we used in the previous video looking at that compound. We're going to use it the exact same way. And it does mention to put 4 pea-sized drops on the pad, prime the pad, spread out the product, and then add just 2 more drops onto the pad and start the cutting process. They mentioned it is perfect for use on all types of machines, including DA, rotary, and forced rotation, even long throw polishers. It is water-based, silicone-free, body shop safe, and works on all automotive finishes, clear coat, single stage paints, as well as gel coat, boats and RVs. It also makes a point of mentioning there are absolutely no fillers. A trip up through the sandmark sections, a trip back. That's equal to 2 passes. I'll bring you in close. You can see no dusting to speak of. You can work the product for quite a long time. That means it has a nice impressive open time or cycle time. And yes, it does wipe off rather easily. Left behind are the results. So let's make sure there's no fillers, as mentioned on the label. So we have an alcohol prep nearby. As expected, completely blazed through the 1500 and 1000 grit sand mark areas. And the next two sections are impressive. 800 and the 600 grit, it made some drastic improvements. Finishes down rather good. We could use the swirl finder here to see if there's any haze left behind from the cutting process. Minimal, you can add the second step if you want to finish down, or jewel. With the light, we could see in the 800 and the 600 grit sections, there are indeed scratches that still remain, but drastic improvement and very impressive. With the gloss meter, we can put some numbers behind the jump in gloss that we see in the corrected areas. And keep in mind, this is before protection laid down as well, and before the finishing process if you decide to add that step. Being able to use this compound with different polishers, you can also use with different types of pad. You can swap your foam pad for a wool pad on a rotary here, and that's what we'll do. And we'll prep the pad the same way, 4 drops, prime the pad, add 2 more drops, and get to work. That should do it. And I've mentioned before, let your polisher come to rest on the panel before lifting the pad away from the surface. It's easier on your backing plate, pads, and polisher. You add that to servicing your polisher on a regular basis, maybe cleaning it and changing out the grease. If there's no um, constructional defects and it's not cheaply made, it should last you a long time. So we'll wipe off the residue. We'll come in and prep the area just to make sure there's no fillers, and we'll come in for a look. Drastic changes and some decent results here as well. It does seem that the dual action polisher with the Eurofiber 50/50 pad did a bit of a better job. This hood also has medium hardness clear coat like the blue one that I have and the other black one, but the results are subjective. Okay, since before I put the panels away, I cleaned them up. I remove all of these sand marks so I can have the panel ready for the next testing, whatever that may be. I'm going to capture that. I'll edit a little bit to speed it up, but I will capture me cleaning up the area with the same pad and polisher. We used the Eurofiber 50/50 pad on it, and we'll come in and take a look. And it does well cleaning up the panel, getting it ready for the next test. Just the last two areas will need another pass or two to clean it up completely. Very impressive. That said, I'm going to go ahead and rate this one an 8 out of 10 on the channel. When we are through reviewing the newer compounds, we'll do a comparison and see which one is the best compared to some of the older ones. Brian from Apex Detail, catch you in the next video.